Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of IWL in Wrestling Life, and this is the season finale that we're doing here. I got to go back to the drawing board and come up with more content for season 2, and in that time, I'll also be going to my other YouTube channels and uploading on there. Creative has nothing for me right now, if you know what I'm saying. But this time, we're going to talk about putting others over, and for those who aren't wrestling fans. Putting people over, when you put somebody over in wrestling, you're making them look good, you're giving them the rub, you're letting them win. There, you already know everything's predetermined, the results and stuff like that. Of course, the physicality and the stamina that you use and the things like that, that's what's real in wrestling. Real injuries can occur, but the results are predetermined. So when you put somebody over, you're making them look good. You're making all their moves look good. You're giving them almost like a promotion, a short promotion. You're letting them get the victory over you so they could get the crowd support, the fan support, so they could come off better on TV to the fans who are watching. Let me give you the best example of putting somebody over. Rock used to always put people over. Rock was a main eventer, but he did not mind losing cleanly in matches for people. He put over Brock Lesnar. Now, he wasn't entirely on his way out, but he put over Brock Lesnar, and that propelled Brock Lesnar to the next level. He won his first championship from The Rock. Situation where putting over goes wrong would be the opposite of that when Stone Cold Steve Austin refused to put over Brock Lesnar because they just decided on a random episode of Raw that with no build, no story going into it, that Brock Lesnar would defeat Stone Cold cleanly. And, this is Stone Cold Steve Austin. This is some run-of-the-mill mid-carder. So Austin didn't want to put him over because of that. Because sometimes when you put others over, it comes to the sacrifice to yourself. People like to look for a win-win situation. And that's what we're talking about here. How does it pertain to life? Is that sometimes in life we have to put ourselves second. We have to put over the next person. If we worked at a place where people taught the next worker how to not so much replace them, but to step up when they step down or they step up, we would be in a better, we would have a better situation in America with workplaces. Or if we had somebody that was like, you know what, I know that this promotion can help me out a lot, but this guy needs it more. I'm going to go put him over. I'm going to go to the management. I'm going to put him over. I'm going to speak his praises, give him all the encomium, his flowers, and say that this guy deserves this. Now, that rarely happens, but that's an example of putting somebody over in the workplace. And, that's something that would make the world a better place if we paid it for it more and just put others over. Looked out for each other, let somebody else get the shine, get the rub, get the applause, and then tell them to do the same for the next person. In a world where we put each other over, sometimes when we put somebody over, like I said, it might come to a great detriment to ourselves. We like to look for a win-win situation. In wrestling, when you put somebody over, you're, somebody that already has a good amount of fan support and a name. When the best example, when 1-2-3 Kid defeated Razor Ramon on Raw, Razor Ramon was an established name. He already had, he was already on the rise, and had the fan support as a heel. But then he lost surprisingly to 123 Kid. He put 123 Kid over. That's probably one of the most famous examples of putting someone over, right? Because after that, he put out 123 Kid over a couple of more times. And it's really what put Sean Waltman on the map and propelled him. This is what we can do in life. We should have no problem helping the next person propel, move up the ladder. Um, at work sometimes you could even do something like, hey, this person right here, they got a lot of, they're new, they don't really have a negative or positive. They're just in the middle. They just started. So you might go and do something real nice and you might say, hey, I didn't do that. The new guy did that. And they're like, I didn't, shh. So, because, when we get these jobs, you have to fake it till we make it. So then you go do something really good for this person, a task. And then you say to management, the new guy did it. Now the new guy has pressure on themselves to match that performance. Now the new guy has pressure on themselves to do a job as good as that, or they have to pay you back by doing that job. And now it's like, okay, now you just set an example for them. But now they got put over. Management's used to you doing a good job, but they don't have anything to show for it with this new person. Now, I'm not saying do that all the time, give somebody else the credit for your work. It would be a bad thing if you did that and they took credit for it. But if you're giving them credit, it's one of those things where if you give, great. If they take it, it's bad. So you're putting them over. You know what I mean? You're giving them the rub. You're doing something to make them look good because you're already good. And that's just something we have to do, is when we're already rich, we're already well off, and whether it be in knowledge or even in money, ideally, the world would have it that you go help the next person. How can I give you $10 if I don't have it myself? Let me go get 10 and I could give you 5. Well, let me go get 10, make another 10, and I could give you 10. But I have to take care of myself first. It's kind of ass backwards to put somebody over when you're not over yourself. And then it's one of those things where you want to make sure you're okay first before you try to help the next person go over. That's just how it is in wrestling. It doesn't do any good if two people who aren't over, they can't put each other over. Now they can put each other's moves over inside the match, but it doesn't, do anything unless it's a major name or somebody that's already established helps the next person who isn't come up. It's always good to have somebody to pull somebody up to your level instead of putting them down and making them feel beneath you, and stepping on people to get to the top. And that's what a lot of people do. Those are real life heels, and they don't care what they have to do to get over and propel themselves in life. But real life baby faces say, you know what? I got my name. I've had my accolades. I've got my championships. I got the fan support. I am a draw. Let me bring somebody else up for me. Let me take another person that's new under my wing. Each one teach one. Let me put them over. Let me give them opportunity to shine and show what they have so they could get to where I'm at, because I'm not going to be here forever. I'm going to have to retire one day. And if companies ran like that, if our country ran like that, I didn't go get too political, then we would be in a better spot, because now we're in a position where the only people we have stepping up to the plate are more septuagenarians and octogenarians. And we don't have the next 35-year-old, 40-year-old. We haven't had a president that young since Obama. You know what I'm saying? The past couple of presidents we've had, we got Trump in his 70s, but his faculties aren't as bad as who we have now. Biden, his faculties aren't as good as they used to be. And even look at what happened with Mitch McConnell the other day. He's freezing up in interviews because his faculties aren't what they used to be. We should get to the point where we're not just keeping the secrets of our success to ourselves, but looking at our successors, teaching everybody to be possible successors who are younger than us, because the future has to keep on going. The ball has to keep on rolling even after you're no longer here to bounce it, when you bounce. So, but we have a lot of people like Vince McMahon is a better example. Triple H is the future. Triple H is the younger guy. Well, he's in his 50s, but he's younger than Vince, that has a better grasp on what's going on with the fans today, what they're into, what they like, who they like, what style of matches they want to see. But Vince refused to pass the torch. Vince does not want a successor. Vince would rather stay in the business and on top of the company for another 20 years if he has anything to do with it. And you have to put the next person over. You have to pass the torch. You have to teach somebody to be a successor. You have to bring somebody up to take the helm, because you can't do it like you used to. And that's what Vince refuses to do. So don't be like Vince. Don't be a real life heel like Vince. Put the next person over. Make other people look good. Help out the next person. Help the next person get on your level. If not better. Teach to be better than you. Because each one teach one's the way the world should revolve. Paying it forward is the way the world should revolve. When the rich has, when I say rich, I mean rich in knowledge, rich in wealth of knowledge, rich in, because it's better to teach somebody how to fish than to give people fish. Teach the next person how to fish, and then they can teach the next person how to fish, and then that person can teach the next person how to fish. Full circle. You got a circle of people teaching. Each one teach one. And now we all know how to become great and put another person over. So now that I put you over, put the next person over when you get your name established, when you've accrued a good amount of knowledge. Because knowledge to me is better than money. Knowledge of how to make money is better than having it. Because somebody could give you $500 and leave you $500. But if they give you the knowledge how to make $500, you can make another and another and another. You know what I mean? So we just have to put each other over and pay it forward. And this is the way that we can make the world revolve in a much better way. But not everybody's going to be with it. So just do your part, put others over, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching, guys. See you next season. Take it easy.